Hi everyone, I hope your fingers are feeling okay after Seven Nation Army. Hopefully you managed to get some of that down. In today's lesson you're going to learn your first chords, E minor and C. And we're going to put that to the song Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. So let's get straight to it. So for E minor, you want your first finger on the second fret on the second string down. Make sure it's the tip of your finger and make sure you're aiming for like the middle of the fret. Then you want your second finger, wants to go on the second fret as well, right underneath your first finger, so on the same fret, so it's on the third string down. And just make sure your thumb is behind where you're playing and kind of flat. You need to make sure that these fingers and your palm of your hand isn't touching any of the strings. And then give it a go. We're going to strum all the strings. Make sure it's from your wrist. You're looking for one sound. We don't want this. We need. So really go for it and try and hit all the strings. That is E minor. So how I learnt it was you take your hand off and you want to try and get your fingers there as quick as you can. And it's really important when you're learning the guitar to learn the names of the chords. So when you see this thing, think E minor. That's an E minor chord. If it's not sounding great, just bring your thumb down a little bit and try and get out of the way of the other strings. Check that your fingers are in between the frets. So that's E minor. So when we play music, we're counting along when we play, and most songs are in 4. So what that means is we'd play E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'd count to 4. So you wouldn't just play and not be counting along. You want to get in the habit of just always counting along when you play. So count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just try playing our E minor on beat 1 and counting to 4. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was E minor. Now let's try C. C can be quite tricky when you first start, so give this a go. You want your third finger on the third fret on the second string down. Third fret, third finger, second string down, 1, 2. Then you want your middle finger, second fret on the next one down, third one down. Then your first finger is going to go on the second one from the bottom down here. So you got 3, 2, and then you miss a string, and then 1 over here. 3, 2, and 1. Third finger, second finger, first finger. There's just a little string gap here. So when we play a C chord, we don't hit the string that's closest to us, we hit 5 strings. So what you have to do is bring your hand down a little, bring your right hand slightly down, try and miss that first one. And then again, try and strum using your wrist. If the chord's not sounding that great, make sure you've moved up far enough and you're further to the right of the bar, not the left. Make sure it's not looking like this. It's more like this. And then you want to just bring your thumb down a little bit. Make sure the bottom of your fingers aren't touching the strings. Your fingers have to stay away from the other strings. Sometimes you can just move your wrist through slightly. So for instance, if my hand's just slightly flat, it sounds a bit like that and it's a bit muted. All I have to do is just bring my wrist through very slightly. It's not like crazy, just very slightly. And then it works. Sometimes taking your hand off, having a second, and then trying it again. So take your hand off, play a C. We need to be really quick at that shape. You want to try and get those 3 fingers down as soon as possible. And then this is the C chord, so try and learn when you do this on your guitar, it's a C. And we only hit 5 strings. So we've got C and E minor. So C, E minor. C, E minor. Again, it's really important to play in time. So if we just play E minor and C, counting to 4, we could do something like this. Again, I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 2, 3, 4, E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we're playing music, we're always thinking about the next thing we do. So when you play the E minor, be thinking about getting to the C. 3, 4. Think about getting this finger down. 2, 3, 4. Another thing you can practice if the chords are sounding all right now is keeping your second finger down when you go between E minor and C. In certain chord progressions, fingers are in the same place. So from E minor to C, our middle finger doesn't move. So try playing E minor, counting to 4, and then try and not take your middle finger off. So you just put your third finger on, and then your first finger on. 2, 3, 4. And then when we go back to E minor, keep this middle finger down. 2, 3, 4, C. See, I'm not taking this finger off. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that's making some sense. The next thing you could try is playing those chords and then strumming down on every beat. So the beat is the 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's try playing a C chord and playing on every beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Strumming down every time. Let's try and do 2 bars, so 2 lots of 4. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So every set of 4 beats is what we call a bar of music. So if we did 2 bars of E minor, that would be 2 lots of 4. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we read this in music, every strum is represented by what's called a quarter note or a crotchet. It's a black dot with a line connected to it. So if you download the music, you'll notice that every chord has one of these quarter notes. So if we have a look at the intro of Eleanor Rigby, you'll notice above the bar you've got a C, the name of the chord, and then you've got 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then each bar tells you the name of the chord and then how many times you need to strum it. Every time you see the chord name, you need to make sure you're playing that chord. And then you look underneath and see how many times you need to play it. So in the intro of Eleanor Rigby, we've got 2 bars of C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 bars of E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So test yourself looking at the music and trying to play along. It'll be so much easier moving forward looking at the music and learning the songs. A lot of the time you'll be able to play things first time. The only other thing you need to look out for in the music is a repeat sign. That is at the end of the bar of music and it's like 2 double dots. Whenever you see that, you need to go back and repeat the section. There'll be 2 dots on the left hand side where you'll need to go back to. Look out for that. Let's put the metronome on slow and see if you can keep up with me. If you miss any of the chords or you haven't got to grips with it yet, just try and play on the first beat and just try and get the chord changes quicker. No pressure. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was playing all the way up to verse 2. If you download the music, you can play along to the whole song with all the different sections. Let's hear it one time, full speed. Don't worry if you can't keep up with this. This is what you're aiming for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck with that. Try and get those chords down. In the next lesson, we're going to be learning the riff Smoke on the Water. So head to that video now. Don't forget to like and subscribe.